Every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
A very good evening to you and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Nena Nyama. In our major stories tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari approves the appointment of Ali Abubakar as the new Director General of the National Identity Management Commission. Also in this program, former Kogi State Governor Abubakar Aldu has been buried after his death on Sunday. A magistrate court in Abuja fixes December 1 to rule on an application filed by the Department of State Service for the transfer of the suit against pro-Biafra activist Nnamdi Kanu. And outside Nigeria, Mali's president questions claims that Al-Muribiton, an Al-Qaeda-linked group, is responsible for last week's assault in the luxury hotel in the capital, Bamako. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Aliyu Abubakar as a new Director General of the National Identity Management Commission. His appointment, which is with immediate effect, follows the expiration of the tenure of Chris Onyemenam. General Manager, Corporate Communications, NIMC, Abdulhamid Umar, confirmed the appointment in a statement issued in Abuja. According to the statement, Aziz was a pioneer staff of NIMC and the Director Information Technology of NIMC before he retired in 2014. He has more than 30 years of post-qualification experience in engineering and information technology spanning both the private and public sectors. Former Kogi State Governor Abubakar Aldu has been buried. The APC's governorship candidate whose election was declared inconclusive by INEC died on Sunday. The burial ceremony attracted political bigwigs and sympathizers who trudged to the deceased home to pay their last respects. Rashid reports from Ogbonicha in Kogi State.
The declaration of Saturday's Kogi governorship election as inconclusive by the Independent Electoral Commission was greeted with diverse reactions amidst speculations of what happens next. But in the case of the flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress, Abubakar Aldu, the journey is over as he transits to great beyond. Emotions were betrayed even by strong men, including Aldu's running mate James Falike, who could not take back his tears. The little hope of seeing Aldu again came to play as sympathizers went in marathon prayer, but the hope for his resurrection was dashed when his remains was brought out for Janazah. The old and young could not hold back tears as they catch the last glimpse of late Abubakar Aldu. They also had words for the man they cherished and respected.
The main icons of development that have in were his handwork. That's why people are endeared to him, that when he comes in, whatever he says he will do, he must do. He will accomplish it.
It will be very, very difficult to have somebody who takes his position in Kogi State. That's why almost every Kogi said it must be him this time around to be the governor.
The bearer writes over. The gathering dispersed, leaving a signal to the end of an era and the wake of a new dawn in Kogi's politics. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ogbonicha, Kogi State.
Meanwhile, as Aldo Abubakar goes home, his party, the All Progressive Congress, has vowed to win supplementary election in Kogi, tagging the initial lead of the party's legacy left behind by Aldo. Our correspondent, Rashid has more. We'll bring you that particular report in our subsequent bulletins. Lagos lawyer Festus Keyamo says Aldo Abubakar's running mate James Falake has the constitutional backing to run as the party's candidate with the death of the All Progressive Congress governorship candidate in Kogi State. In a statement, Keyamo emphasized that the duo ran a joint ticket, which has already been allocated votes before the election was declared inconclusive. He, however, conceded that the Constitution does not envisage the death of a candidate in the middle of an electoral process, arguing that the closest scenario to what happened was in 1999 when Atiku Abubakar became vice president soon after emerging as Adamawa State governor. Keyamo noted that the same constitutional provision of Section 181 subsection 1 is the best in this situation, adding that the party would have to choose a running mate for Faleke in the next phase of the Kogi State governorship election. Imo State Governor Rochas Okoreche has dismissed claims that he blamed APC national leader Bola Tinubu for Abubakar Aldo's death. The blame the report on Facebook supporters of the People's Democratic Party. Special Assistant on Information and Communications Technology, Ike Obone, said in a statement that the allegation is a tale full of trash. He maintained that Okoreche spent the better part of Sunday chairing a stakeholders forum of Southeast leaders did not return to Owerri same night. The governor's aide wondered why the author of the allegation did not cite the medium where they claimed they got the interview, supposedly granted by his principal. He described the purported interview as a ploy to bring Governor Okoreche loggerheads with leaders of the party, especially Bola Tinubu. President Muhammadu Buhari has described the late All Progressive Congress governorship candidate in Kogi State, Prince Abubakar Aldo, as a talented and courageous politician. In a statement issued today by his senior special assistant on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, the president, who is attending the third gas exporting countries forum in Tehran, Iran, expressed shock at Aldo's death. The president further disclosed that the nation is obviously devastated at the loss of the loving family head and a respected community leader. Also, the Senate President Bukola Saraki has described as painful and shocking the death of the former governor of Kogi State and governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Abubakar Aldo. In a statement today, Senator Saraki said the late politician died as a dogged and visionary leader. He recalled the tenacity of purpose and unwavering loyalty of the deceased, whom he said remains committed to the cause of his people and his party to the very last moment of his life. The Senate President also condoled with his immediate family, the government and people of Kogi State, and the national and state executives, as well as members of the All Progressive Congress, APC. In the same vein, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, has expressed shock over the sudden death of the candidates of the All Progressive Congress in last Saturday's governorship poll in Kogi State. In a condolence message by his special assistant on media and public affairs, Mr. Turaki Hazan, Dogara described the late Aldo as one of the strong pillars of the APC, adding that though his death is a setback for the party, it would be improper for anybody to question the will of God. The Speaker, who condoled with the family of Aldo and the people of Kogi State, pointed out that it is painful that Aldo could not live to celebrate his imminent victory at the poll. Still on condolences messages, the national leader of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Tinubu, says Abubakar Aldo died before his time. He described the death of the party's governorship candidate in Kogi State as shocking and sorrowful, but noted that it was a reminder of man's mortality. The former Lagos State governor said in a statement that he first knew Aldo about 30 years ago as a banker. According to him, the late APC chieftain was a renowned financial expert, well known in banking circles before his entry into politics. Tinubu described him as a prince of the Niger whose good deeds and dreams would outlive him. The People's Democratic Party has expressed shock over the sudden death of the candidate of the All Progressive Congress in last Saturday's Kogi State governorship election, Abubakar Aldu. In a statement in Abuja today, the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Olisa Metu, said the issue of election is not important to the party, adding that at this critical moment, it would refrain from comment on the conduct of the said election. He extended condolences to the family of Prince Abubakar Aldu and the APC. Metu disclosed that the acting national chairman of the PDP, Uche Secondus, has charged all PDP members in Kogi and across the nation to keep Prince Aldu, his family and loved ones in their prayers as they mourn with them and the people of Kogi State over this monumental loss. We'll take a break now and return with more stories. To stay with us.
The man on the streets have come to realize that the power to make decisions lies in the hands of the people.
I don't think the election...
5 local government out of the 30 local government is more than many states in the north. The economy is booming. Where is the economy booming?
Blast in Abuja.
Don't you have security?
Why are we fighting? The country should not just sit in Abuja or in Asokoro or wherever it is. States are supposed to be local. They know them.
They cannot be there and be here at the same time.
Life of the citizens, community need to be protected.
It can't work out.
Bring the message of peace.
Let there be proper devolution of power from the center. The center is too powerful.
It's time to do the best. But people are hasting. Why are you hasting? Why are you hasting? Why are you hasting? Well, let's conjugate.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Glad to have you back. You're still watching CoreTV Primetime News. A quick reminder of our top stories. President Muhammadu Buhari approves the appointment of Aliyu Abubakar as the new Director General of the National Identity Management Commission. Also, former Kogi State Governor Abubakar Aldu has been buried after his death on Sunday. A magistrate court in Abuja fixes December 1 to rule on an application filed by the Department of State Service for the transfer of the suit against pro-Biafra activist Nnamdi Kanu. For more of our news stories, join us on our social media platforms, facebook.com/CoreTV News, on Twitter at CoreTV News NG, and on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV The Senate President Bukola Saraki has charged the standing committees on petroleum upstream and downstream to facilitate timely passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill, PIB. He was speaking at the inauguration of 12 more committees at the National Assembly complex. Saraki also told the committee chairman to ensure diligence in carrying out their oversight functions. Aside from the petroleum committees, orders inaugurated include education, state and local government, as well as employment, labor, and productivity.
To ensure that the resources that you require in order to be effective will be provided. The Senate Committee on Education. The 8th Senate is keenly aware of the dwindling fortunes of our education institution and the need to develop and implement a series of programs to revitalize basic education and secondary education. The Senate Committee on Education is charged with charting the course of the Senate's response. The 8th Senate expectations that before the end of the session, the committee will put in place a roadmap of necessary legislative intervention to revamp basic education secondary school system as a whole, with a framework that will directly target technical growth and competition. The Senate Committee on the Petroleum Upstream, Downstream, and Gas, the oil and gas industry remains the lifeblood of the Nigerian economy. The industry is going through a downturn period, which represents also the opportunity for us to reform the local industry to meet the challenges changing times. Attempts in the past to reform the industry through the Petroleum Industry Bill have not been able to go full circle for a number of reasons. Significantly, this Senate this time round has adopted the PIB as one of our legislative agenda. It is our intention that this time round we will break these jigs. And in Senate, in doing that, very soon, we hope that we will be able to come up with the PIB for first reading. After that, the effort now depends on the Senate committees of upstream, downstream, and gas. We challenge you that once these bills are brought before you, they should receive prompt attention. And let us move from the past that some of this bill PIB stays for months and months with the committees to ensure that we implement and deliver on this promise.
I particularly count it as an honor and fulfillment of our collective electoral promise to our constituents to have been entrusted with the responsibility of repositioning these sectors for effective service delivery. We are all aware of the importance of these sectors in nation building. Education, they say, is power and must be given adequate and priority attention for the present and future development of our nation. It is disheartening to note that majority of our youth still roam the streets without work, despite the huge natural endowment of our nation. In order to try and alleviate the myriad of problems confronting the country, we shall all join hands with the present administration towards salvaging these sectors from further damage and total collapse.
It's been 3 weeks of persistent fuel scarcity and long queues, but there seems not to be any respite in sight as business operators resort to buying fuel from illegal vendors and at very exorbitant prices. Our correspondent Sarah Yeko, while roving the street, focuses on the effect of these impediments on small-scale businesses.
Aside from commuters queuing at filling station for premium motor spirit PMS, which has become a norm in the past weeks, small business operations in Lagos and other parts of the country are not left out as they also feel the brunt of the persistent fuel scarcity. With the erratic power supply in the country over the years, small businesses largely depend on petrol to keep their enterprises running and contribute their own quota to the Nigerian economy. This, however, seems to be difficult in the face of continuous challenge of fuel scarcity.
The fuel scarcity has affected in a lot of ways. Like, for example, this morning when I was taking my kids to school, before I got to Berger, my car was already showing red light, and I just kept on praying that I hope my fuel will not finish, and I needed to pick my kids in school, so I needed to start looking for black market to buy because the queue in the filling stations are so, they are just too long that I just cannot even queue up.
This Lagos state know that there is fuel scarcity because from my house to here to this Olora junction, I used to take transport of 300 naira, but since last week I'm spending 515 naira, so there's fuel scarcity everywhere now.
The issue of fuel scarcity seems to continue unabated as getting the product have become so difficult, with some filling station selling above the official pump price and black marketers having a field day.
When people come here, they demand for cool something, and normally we don't have cool something here because of no light. For past 1 week I've been here, I've never seen lights for daytime like this.
With the Yuletide season around the corner, operators of barbing salons, hairdressing salons, business center owners and other business operators are calling on the relevant authorities to find a lasting solution to the challenge of fuel scarcity. Sarah Ayoko, CoreTV News, Lagos.
A magistrate court in Abuja has fixed December 1 to rule on an application filed by the Department of State Service for the transfer of the suit against pro-Biafra activist Nnamdi Kanu. This was after the DSS had produced the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra in court on request. Prosecution counsel Moses Ndako is seeking transfer of the case to Federal High Court Abuja on the grounds that the court lacked jurisdiction to hear charges of treasonable felony. Kanu's first public appearance since his arrest in Atoebe in Lagos came on the day pro-Biafra activist staged a protest in the vicinity of the court. Our judicial correspondent Basil Okafo has more in this report presented from our studios.
The IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu arrived in the court beaming with smiles at about 10:30 a.m. amidst heavy security. His supporters had also mobilized in their numbers, chanting solidarity songs and demanding the release of the man they say is their hero. Policemen formed a barricade at the entrance of the court to prevent the Kanu supporters from gaining access. In court, the prosecution argued for the transfer of the case to a higher court because the man behind the banned Radio Biafra is to face treasonable felony charges. His lawyers put a strong argument against the application, but Chief Magistrate Shuaibu Usman fixed ruling for December 1. After his brief court appearance, Kanu made an attempt to speak with journalists after the court session. But his effort was resisted by the security operatives who led him into a waiting vehicle.
What we're saying is that it is for the world to look at what is transpiring. We are asking that the rule of law should be obeyed. We are not saying that Nnamdi Kanu is declared did not commit anything. But under Chapter 4 of our Constitution, he's presumed innocent. He's supposed to enjoy the bail that was given to him to enable him prepare for his trial. What we are saying is that whatever you have, put it in front of the court. Let us come and then follow it, sequentially, and then look at it from the point of law. But we are still at the preliminaries where somebody has been granted bail for over 1 month. And we're still arguing as to whether he will get his freedom or not.
While he was driven away, the crowd of supporters who had gathered near the court continued to chant freedom songs and slogans in a peaceful manner.
Meanwhile, some federal legislators are pushing for dialogue between the federal government and those calling for an independent state of Biafra. Speaking with CoreTV News crew, the members say it is necessary to meet with the leadership of the indigenous people of Biafra and all the groups behind the agitation with a view to hearing their demands. Our correspondent Jamila Fegboa reports.
The name Biafra evokes memories of a period in Nigeria's history that many would rather forget. Between 1967 and 1970, the country went through a bloody civil war brought about by southeastern secessionists led by Chukwuemeka Odumegu Ojukwu, then a lieutenant colonel in the Nigerian army. Their demands were simple: self-rule for states in southeastern Nigeria. The Igbos, as then, felt they were marginalized, and most of what was shared as Nigeria's commonwealth came from their area. Thousands of people died and many wounded. The scars of the 4-year-long war is still evident more than 40 years after the last shot was fired. Now, the battle cry for the actualization of that dream is renting the air again. These legislators are calling for caution.
This issue emanates also the negative value processes that have been derived from governance in the last couple of decades. So what we think is that by the time the House addresses it jointly with the Senate, we will be able to find, just like the way Boko Haram started gradually, we don't want this issue of Biafra to come up in that way. Because this time around, if you look at it, the youths all over the country trying, because of the economic hardship, downturn, people, unemployment, the agitation, when you ask the person agitating, he may not be able to extract and say, this is why I'm asking for this.
My advice would be to dialogue with them. I think maybe they have a reason for all they are doing, but if you don't dialogue with them, you might not be able to handle it rightly. They have the right to demonstrate, but they must also be told that it should not be violent. Because if I'm a road user and I'm a Nigerian, if I'm going to go to the east, for example, I'm going to Port Harcourt, I have to go through Asaba, Onitsha, Owerri, and I'm in danger of a mob attacking me.
Nigeria is currently going through an insurgency which has ravaged the northeast, killing many and sacking thousands from their communities. In calling for peace, this legislator from Yobe State speaks of his personal experience.
I'm talking to you right away. I'm one of those IDPs. My state is severely heated by this insurgency. And when people are calling for war or they are calling for division, it's because they have never seen what the manifestation is all about. This is a place where I cannot be linked up to some of my relations and some of my family members. Up to now, there is no news. Some of them I cannot even trace their whereabouts.
One basic question many are asking, however, is what has brought Nigeria to this level in a country that its people have lived peacefully for decades?
Democracy calls for agitation on its own because it's like somebody let loose. You have attained your freedom. Maybe things prior to this time you didn't ask for. It's time for you to ask. Maybe you've been oppressed for a long time. So you can see that some of these things are out of oppression, out of deniers here and there. So all we need to do, both as a parliament and indeed as government, is that if we see those that are genuine, people we can feel, not people wearing masks, you can't see them. Let's get them, because it's better to judge than to war.
These and many more need to be answered. But one thing is clear to these legislators: Nigeria cannot afford another bloody war. They insist that the unity of the country and the future of the younger generation should be uppermost in the minds of those calling for a division. Jamil Afegwa, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Still on the pro-Biafra agitation, the Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Abubakar III, has advised the pro-Biafra agitators to tread with caution. He made a case for dialogue at the Second General Assembly of Northern Traditional Rulers in Kaduna. Our correspondent Amina Nebi has more in this report presented from our studios.
It's the Second General Assembly of the Northern Traditional Rulers. But beyond admonishing his colleagues on the security situation in the region, the Sultan has a piece of advice on pro-Biafra agitation and other divisive issues.
When we meet with our political leaders, we tell them that we are only here to advise them, and we are advisors. And we continue to advise them as long as it's necessary. We continue to advise them for the good of our people, especially in the northern states.
Earlier, Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai had noted that peace is the responsibility of all. He added that development can only thrive in an atmosphere of peace and understanding.
To continue to sensitize our citizens that are your subjects in various domains, to embrace peace and security as a collective responsibility for all, and to continue to assist the various governments in their efforts to restore sustainable development. We all know that peace requires more than just having armed security personnel on the streets. Peace is fostered by the willingness of communities to live in harmony.
The emirs said a minute of silent prayer in honor of former governor of Kogi State, Abubakar Audu, before the commencement of the meeting. A communique is expected to be issued at the end of the session, attended by all the northern traditional rulers.
Organized Labour says it plans to resist attempts by governors of the 36 states of the Federation to reduce the 18,000 naira minimum wage. President Nigerian Labour Congress, Ayuba Waba, disclosed this journalist in Abuja. NLC insists that its members are ready to shut down the country if the governors make good their intention.
I've also been very clear with my colleagues in government, other governors, that in seeking to find solution to the problem that we face, we have to be holistic. You know, we cannot, at the one hand, question the wisdom behind the national minimum wage. And you know, I joined the NLC to protest to the National Assembly when they were going to amend the Constitution to make the minimum wage a concurrent issue. You know, and I said, workers have the stake in this democracy. They are the ones who afford to march the street, and they march the street for democracy. And state governments agreed to it. The president signed it, not under duress. There was no strike to compel the then president to sign it. So he signed it voluntarily and in good faith.
The police authorities have confirmed the arrest of 4 key members of a gang that recently robbed commercial banks in Agbara Estate, Ogun State. The police said operatives attached to the IG's Special Intelligence Response Team made the arrest through discreet investigation. Police spokesperson Olabisi Kolawole recalled in a statement that the robbers, numbering about 20 last Thursday, stormed the estate and robbed 3 banks in a raid that led to the death of a policeman and a nursing mother. Shava noted that the gang leader known as Kelly Roto was tracked to Sapele, Delta State, where he was arrested after a shootout. The police said a number of arms and ammunition were recovered from the suspects, while a manhunt is on for the other gang members. We'll take another break now, return with more stories. Just stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Glad to have you back on the foreign scene. Mali's president has questioned claims that Al-Murabiton, an Al-Qaeda-linked group, was responsible for last week's assault on a luxury hotel in the capital, Bamako. Addressing journalists, President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta said despite early speculation, his intelligence suggests that another group, the Masina Liberation Front, was responsible for it. It will be recalled the members claiming to be part of Al-Murabiton quickly claimed responsibility for the attack, saying it carried it out in coordination with Imarat al-Sara Group and Al-Qaeda in Islamic Maghreb, Al-Qaim. The November 20 assault on the Radisson Blu Hotel is the latest in series of deadly raids this year on prominent targets in Mali, which has battled various armed groups based in its desert north for years. Belgian security forces have arrested 16 suspects believed to have ties to the deadly attacks in Paris. Police carried out multiple raids across the country, targeting 19 locations overnight in the capital Brussels and in the city of Charleroi, 75 kilometers to the south. The federal prosecutor, Eric van der Siept, said an investigative judge would decide the future detention. However, Belgian national Salam Abdel Salam, believed to have been involved in the November 30 attacks in the French capital and currently in hiding in the Brussels area, was not arrested in the operation. Conservative opposition candidate Mauricio Macri has won Argentina's presidential election, ending 12 years of leftist rule. Argentina's election body said Macri had 53% of votes and Scioli had 47%, with returns from 3/4 of polling stations. Addressing supporters after ruling party candidate Daniel Scioli considered defeat, Macri promised that a marvelous new era was starting for the country. Macri's win ends a political era dominated by Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner and her late husband, Nestor Kirchner. And finally, in sport, Dream Team 6 coach Samson Tiasie has listed 4 overseas-based professionals in his final 21-man squad for the CAF Under-23 Championship in Senegal. The 4 foreign-based players are Taiwo Awoni from German 2nd Division side, FSV Frankfurt Junior And that's it on CoreTV Primetime News. Thank you so very much for watching. I am Nena Nyamadu. Have a lovely night rest.